104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Now we go out to the man who covers college basketball for NBC Sports, Scott Phillips. Scott, what's your thoughts on the first round play-in stuff? Like, I like that they call it the first four now. What do you think of the first four games?
I think it's a positive. It adds a little bit of excitement and intrigue to an event that people are obviously looking for once we get from Selection Sunday to Thursday, and this kind of whets your appetite for the main event. It adds a little bit of intrigue because these are supposed to be the last four at-large teams that are in the field, talking about the 11 seeds. And, we've seen throughout the tournament's history since they've implemented these games, teams make a run to the round of 32, the Sweet 16, and even in VCU's case, the Final Four. So these teams are not to be taken lightly. They've obviously taken these first games and use them as a motivating factor to get some of the kinks out of playing in the spotlight of the NCAA tournament and, maybe keep an eye on some of these teams like a Kansas State that won last night or a team like Providence or USC that's playing tonight.
And a lot of those teams have won in the next round. They may have even advanced to the Sweet 16, while other people who are just doing a bracket not following college basketball, it confuses them. What do you mean there's two teams against one? I don't get this. So it has a lot of different feels for it. How about you, the Scott Phillips strategy in filling out your bracket every season?
Well, I think you have to look at, obviously, some trends in the past. So you look at the 5-12 upset as a baseline of picking something. You look at double-digit seeds. There's usually one or two that makes at least the Sweet 16, if not the Elite Eight. And you can't ride the 1 and 2 seeds too far. In the last 20 years, we have not seen all four number 2 seeds advance except for 1 year, which shocked me. There's always a 7 or a 10 seed that eliminates a 2 in the second round and advances to the Sweet 16. So you just have to find some of those trends, find teams that you like and you're comfortable with, and then go out and brag to your friends why you feel as though that team is better than everyone else's bracket, because that's really what it comes down to at this point.
Scott Phillips with us right now from NBC Sports. He covers college hoops. So, okay, Scott, give us some of those potential upsets that you're looking at.
Yeah, I really like the 12-5 matchup with Middle Tennessee over Minnesota in particular. This is a popular one, but it's in part because the Blue Raiders were a 15 seed that knocked off a 2 seed in Michigan State last season. They returned 2 double-figure scorers in Giddy Potts and Reggie Upshaw, talented guys who have been a part of many big games, and they added a key transfer in Ja'Cory Williams from Arkansas. He was the Conference USA Player of the Year. That's a trio right there that can compete with almost anybody in the field. They're going to be very dangerous as a number 12 seed. The last 2 years we've seen Conference USA's champion in Middle Tennessee and UAB pull off big upsets. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if Middle Tennessee were to not only beat Minnesota, but to maybe make a potential game of it with Butler in the second round. There's a lot of other intriguing upsets. I like Rhode Island over Creighton in the Midwest region, the 11-6 matchup there. The Rams coming into this one hot, having won the Atlantic 10 tournament. They have multiple veterans in their starting lineups that are very talented players. E.C. Matthews is a really nice story. He tore his ACL the first game of last season when Rhode Island had expectations to make the NCAA tournament. This team finally makes it. They have veteran big men who can match up with Justin Patton of Creighton inside. And I think the Blue Jays are still reeling a little bit from losing senior point guard Mo Watson for the season. 2 matchups for upsets that I really like in the NCAA tournament's first round.
I like a lot of those upsets, too, so we're on the same wavelength there. Let's talk about the best players in the NCAA tournament. Who are going to be the guys who stand out and become a household name in the next few weeks?
This tournament's fascinating, guys, not only because you have senior veterans who have been in past tournaments and won championships who are back again, but you have a lot of freshman one-and-done talents who can appeal to the casual fan and maybe the NBA audience that wants to tune in and see some of the best players. Some of the returning veterans to watch are guys like Josh Hart at Villanova, who won a national title last year. He's back along with Chris Jenkins, the guy who hit the game-winning shot. And Jalen Brunson, the sophomore guard, has really emerged as a really nice complement to Hart for that Villanova team. They have title aspirations. They're the best team that we've seen repeat as champion since that Florida group won back-to-back. This team has serious title aspirations. And when you look at Kansas, they're led by a senior in Frank Mason. He's a guy who was Player of the Year in many groups. He was our NBC Sports National Player of the Year, averaged 20 points and 5 assists a game, this season. He was tremendous shooting the ball around 48% from three-point, and these are the types of guys, Hart and Mason, who take over games late. They're veterans. They've played through a number of tournaments before. They want the ball in their hands late, and they're the types of guys that make plays. And in terms of the freshmen to watch, you got to keep an eye on UCLA's Lonzo Ball. I know a lot of people are upset with some of the things that his father says. Don't be distracted by that nonsense. Watch this kid play. He's an unbelievable passer. Some have called him a savant. He's so good with the ball in his hands. He's got an IQ that you seldom see for any player at any level, and he's a potential top 3 pick in the upcoming draft. That's going to be fascinating to see him play in this tournament. Kentucky has a pair of freshman guards in Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox who are really talented, who have maybe the highest ceiling of anybody. And Duke has a freshman in Jason Tatum who's playing great the last stretch of play. You have to watch for Luke Kennard and Grayson Allen with them as well. There's a lot of star power in this tournament this year.
Scott Phillips, he covers hoops for NBC Sports. So, Scott, let's hear it. Let's match up your Final Four and champion versus ours. Who you got?
So in the East region, I have Duke taking down Villanova in Madison Square Garden. I think that's an unbelievable matchup, but the Blue Devils are just playing great ball down the stretch. In the West, I like Gonzaga over Florida State. I think that the Seminoles upset Arizona. I like their length defending the Wildcats. And Gonzaga finally reaches that pinnacle with that deep 8-man rotation of theirs. Top 10 offense and defense. Mark Few has a deep group there. The Midwest, I like Kansas over Louisville. I think the Jayhawks have really had some nice pieces here. Obviously, the loss to TCU is concerning, but they were missing Josh Jackson in that game. Mason's tremendous. Devontae Graham's experienced. As long as Landon Lucas stays out of foul trouble, the Jayhawks were looking like a number 1 team entering this field. The South, I like Kentucky over North Carolina. The Wildcats have the high-ceiling backcourt, as I mentioned, with Monk and Fox. Fox, in particular, really scoring the ball at a high level recently. Bam Adebayo is a freshman to watch down low. They have some seniors in Derek Willis and Dominique Hawkins who have been there before. Not your typical young, inexperienced, one-and-done Layden Kell or John Calipari roster. He's got some veterans along with the freshmen.
Very cool. Scott Phillips breaking it down for us, giving us all the knowledge you can need to get your last-minute brackets in. Man, we appreciate you.
Well, how about the national champion? Did you put us in the title game? Don't tease us like that,
you
Scott.
Broke it
Finish
down
it off
for us. I was
us.
so ready for it.
Yeah, so I've got Duke over Kentucky in the title game. I think that the Blue Devils are really peaking at the right time. 8 top 25 wins, the most of any team in this field. I think that, again, with the scores that they have, the depth that they have, they're really playing good ball at the right time, and they put the egos aside to share the ball here.
See, Scott, like you took Florida State. My big upset is Florida Gulf Coast, so that hurt my feelings. And then we only like Duke because we like watching Grayson Allen get thug on people.
Hey, it happens. I understand. And, Dunk City playing against Florida State and Orlando is going to be a fun one in the first round. I really hope the local fans show up for that one because an exciting chance to see a 3 versus a 14, and that usually isn't the case.
NBC Sports, Scott Phillips, man. This is great, man. We're going to keep bothering you through the tournament if you don't mind.
Please do. Thanks for having me on, guys.